What's going on, everybody? Vince Goodrum here. It's Sunday evening, and as some of you guys know, I've not been filming a couple of videos in the past couple of days. The reason being is I actually came down with the flu on Thursday, still recovering from it, so my voice wasn't the way it was, and I was just, sick and dead as a dog there, basically. But feeling a little bit better. When it comes to having the flu, and I'm not talking about the cold, I'm talking about the actual bona fide flu, that takes at least a week for you to recover from. But other than that, everything's perfectly as fine as it can be, recovering from it, and, feeling a whole lot better. The reason why I wanted to make this video because uh, as some of you guys have heard about, and I've been getting a couple of messages about making a comment on it, and that's about the rates in Europe for Enhanced Athlete Europe. It's one of the companies that are owned by Dr. Tony Huge. He's one of those gurus that have recently appeared within the past year or so forth. And I know you guys wanted me to comment about him. So here's the video about it. So, in my opinion, first off, he's not a doctor, obviously. He's actually a ex-lawyer turned, bodybuilding and fitness guru. And that's perfectly fine with me. But one thing that he has gotten very popular about is, and you have to excuse me, I'm still, like I said, recovering from this flu. One of the things that he speaks about a lot is, of course, DMP. And just to give you, I'm not going to get too technical as far as what DMP is, but essentially it works by essentially uncoupling the cellular structure in your of your cells in your body, and in return that actually produces heat. That's the gist of it. It's not something that was created by anyone. It was accidentally discovered back in the late 1800s by miners who were actually using dynamite, and they were coming down when they breathed in the dust from the dynamite. They experienced headaches, severe fevers, and of course extreme weight loss over a period of months. It was eventually marketed around, I believe, 1933 by Stanford University by Cutter and Tainter, and it was actually sold in the United States at one time as a dietary pill. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm just thinking offhand as far as giving you guys a brief history of what DMP is. And it was sold for a certain period of time, sold pretty well until, the obvious side effects, which we have come to learn nowadays that, DMP can, taken in too much of a dose, can literally cook out your insides, causing hypothermia, amongst other things here. Very horrible death there, if you ask me. So what my honest opinion about DMP is, for one, I'm not surprised that the bust was actually in Europe. DMP is actually not too popular in the United States. It's more popular in the European and Arab countries. And the reason for this is not because Europeans are weird or anything like that. It's just because DMP is cheap to get. You can get it from pesticides. It's used by just about every bodybuilder in especially the Arab countries here. And when you go to these Arab countries and a lot of these other poor regions out there, they have to get by with what they can get their hands on. And DMP is readily available. You just take some pesticides, do a little this and that, you encapsulate it, and you're off to the races here. So that's why it's so popular out in Europe as well as these European countries. Because it's just basically cheap to get. I mean, you could probably get I know some outlets here, and I'm not going to go and quote prices because I don't want you guys actually using it. But you can get like a 60-day supply of DMP for about $20. It sells dirt cheap. Some people even sell it for just $10, and because it's just simply a very cheap substance to make and use there. Uh, as far as Dr. Huge is concerned, because this is a bust in Europe and Dr. Huge is in the United States, I'm not sure how that's going to play out as to whether there's going to be a international cooperation between the United States and Europe to eventually prosecute Dr. Huge and his business associates. But one thing is for sure that Dr. Huge probably needs to lawyer up pretty soon because it looks like they will be coming after him. Uh, as far as DMP, the substance, is concerned, I have mixed opinions as far as its actual use. I understand that it's in the bodybuilding industry and it's actually more commonly used by, like I said, most European bodybuilders. Uh, Obviously, it's not a safe product, but in terms of bodybuilding, it's there's nothing that's really that safe out there when it comes to competing on the professional level. Uh, but as far as my personal opinion, would I use it? Wouldn't use that mess at all. There's a lot more if you have the funds and the means to do so. There's a lot more safer things to do, and I think that there's uh, DMP is just simply too dangerous there. Even if you take the regular doses of it, a lot of people actually pass away from it, not from taking too many pills, although some people have taken too many pills, just like they take a couple of them and think it's not working, and then they take a couple more, and then it actually kicks in. Uh, but DMP sometimes has the ability to basically stick in your gut, and your body will accumulate the substance itself there, and that can also cause your untimely death as well when when all of it's accumulated in the body. As far as hmm, as far as the DMP is concerned, I seriously wish that Dr. Huge would really just lay low for a little bit there. At least at least wait until the bullshit. At least wait until the bullshit lows down there. The reason being is because he's up on YouTube, and he's bragging, he's promoting this DMP product heavily along with a bunch of other anabolic steroids here. And to the FBI, you see a guy on any type of YouTube video or any media outlet there saying, "Hey, I'm using this. I'm making a lot of money. I'm showing off all my cars and stuff like that." It's like waving. It's like trying to give candy to a baby. There, I mean, and eventually I guess the best way to describe it would be like putting a big juicy piece of bait on a hook for the fish to catch, and eventually those fish are going to bite, and they're going to end up biting Dr. Hughes. So, uh, my actual advice there for Dr. Hughes, his business partners, just lay low for a bit and just let the bullshit blow over. You know, Definitely lawyer up, and of course, obviously, stop selling this DMP product because not only is it illegal, but it's quite dangerous. And one thing that they could possibly charge you with is if any of your products that you've made and manufactured contributed to the death of other people, you can actually be charged with manslaughter as you being a manufacturer of an illegal drug. But that's all I'm going to really speak on this here. Because there's a lot of other things that I'm not quite aware of, and other things that hasn't quite came out yet as well. Uh, this is something that will be kept. I mean, it's best to be kept monitored and looked forward to within the next month or two. I don't see, but to be honest with you, I don't see really much happening because one, this bust was in Europe, and Dr. Huge obviously is in the United States. So it'll be a quite some time before anything actually results of it, if anything results of it. It's just going to really depend on how much the Fed. I mean, just it's going to simply depend on what evidence they have on Dr. Huge and his associates, and what's out there, and and the main thing is just jurisdiction, because this is a European bust. It's not a U.S. bust, so different strokes for different folks. So that's all I got to say today. I'm gonna go back to bed, like I said. Still getting over the flu, but at the same time, the other than taking medicine, the best way to get over the flu is just rest and relaxation. But you guys have a good rest of the Sunday and take care. One other thing I do want to bring up, and I know a lot of you guys have been bugging me about it, and that's a new camera. And yes, I do have one on order, a professional camera, and that way, when these videos come out, that it doesn't look like someone with Alzheimer's is actually filming it there. Ha ha ha, very funny. When it comes to doing these videos, I just started it there, so I didn't know how popular it would end up being. So at the same time, I really didn't want to invest the money in it at the time until I, saw how things are working. And now that I see how well the YouTube is actually going, I am going to invest more into, these videos. I'm going to do some live streams, as I stated. And I have the new camera coming in with the new software, and it's going to allow me to do even more videos, within a shorter period of time, as well as doing more editing. But, that's all coming up. I'm really excited about the, things that are going on. But for right now, I'm going back to bed. So I'm out of here, guys. Y'all have a good Sunday.